Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Midas Letter Live. My guest in this segment is Keith Dolo, President and CEO of Sproutly Canada Inc., which just began trading on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol SPR. He joins us live via Skype in Vancouver. Keith, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, good morning, James. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Keith, you just listed on the TSX venture, or the CSE rather, and you've got a kind of diversified approach to the cannabis business that is not like much else we've seen so far. Let's start with an overview. What exactly is the business of Sproutly?
Yeah, so thanks so much, James. So Sproutly is positioning ourselves to be a leader in the beverage space. Previous to this, we were going down the path of becoming a small batch producer. We have a 17,000 square foot property in Toronto, run under the license of Toronto Herbal Remedies. We're in the process of closing a very transformative acquisition in the cannabis space of a company named Infusion Biosciences Canada. We've been in the works of going through the due diligence with Infusion Biosciences Canada for about the last 8 months now, and since we're listed, we can obviously close out the transaction in a short time frame, within the next kind of 5 to 10 business days. And Infusion Biosciences really positions Sproutly for a bit of a pivot in our business model moving forward. They have been able to create the world's only truly water-soluble cannabis solution after 12 years of research into water-soluble extraction technologies. And so they've developed a very specified APP technology, which will enable us to take the product and the supply that we're able to produce at our THR facility and create an ingredient that is really second to any other ones that are on the market right now, because it's not an oil-based ingredient. It is truly water-soluble, and it allows us both from a pharma remedies or bioceutical standpoint, but also allowing us to focus on the consumer foods and the beverage industry. So really excited to close that transaction and start working on the business model of deploying it moving forward.
Yeah, okay. And so your growing facility, it's a wholly owned subsidiary called Toronto Herbal Remedies.
Correct.
Received your license to cultivate, correct?
Yeah, we got our license back on June 8th, so that was a good milestone for the company after years of development of the facility. We're looking at bringing clones in a very short time frame to get that facility up and producing. And obviously, as we close out the Infusion Biosciences Canada transaction, we'll be building out our ready-built lab, which already had $1 million of lab equipment within it, to be able to house the technology that Infusion Biosciences has created with their patent-pending process. So we'll have a ready-built facility that can not only cultivate the cannabis, but can also turn it into the infused 2.0 or the bio-natural oil processes that are out there. So,
sure. So the importance or significance of soluble cannabinoids is really kind of something I'd like to drill down upon a bit, because I'm curious in the context of, so GW Pharma just received FDA approval for the first FDA approved cannabinoid derived drug for epilepsy based on CBDs. Is it logical to presume that the development of these kinds of drugs are going to rely on water-soluble cannabinoids in some formulations in order to be useful?
yeah, so I think if you look at GW's product, from what I can recall, it comes in a syrup. So it's a refined version of the cannabinoid that they make available to fight the epilepsy, as well as a couple other different conditions. Our product is similar in the sense that it will come as a refined product, but it doesn't start out as an oil-based product. So what APP and Infusion Biosciences has been able to do is to really look at the plant and look at, from a groundbreaking discovery, discovering that there are truly naturally water-soluble forms of the phytochemicals, including the cannabinoids and terpenes that exist within the plant. So being able to deliver a truly water-soluble product to the human body allows the body to ingest it in a much different manner. All the current forms of oils into beverages or oils into products still get processed within the body in the same form, whether it's in a nanoparticle or microparticle or molecule. The body still takes time to break that oil-based product down or molecule, and it still takes 30 to 45 minutes, as you know, from many edibles or ingestibles that are on the market, to feel the effects of it. And those effects wear off anywhere between 4 to 6 hours. Since ours is a water-soluble form of those cannabinoids, your body ingests it like a truly water-soluble form. So like a salt dissolving in a water or a sugar dissolving in a water, it is truly water-soluble. It's not compatible or it's not miscible like an oil. and your body ingests that and feels the full effects of that cannabinoid, whether it's THC or CBD, in around 5 minutes. Some patients take it as early as 2 to 3 minutes. They feel the effects of it, and that's the full effect. It's not a gradual climbing scale over the next couple hours as your body continues to break down more of the oils and ingest it and feel the ongoing effects. You feel the full effects within, let's say, 5 minutes or maybe under. And that full effect is out of your system somewhere between 60 and 90. Some patients as early as 45, they've been giving us the feedback on. So it's really drastically shortened the onset and the offset times of ingesting those versions of those cannabinoids.
Sure. So I guess that level of control gives you a higher level of control over dosage and duration.
Yeah, and because the full effects is felt within 5 minutes, for somebody from a recreational standpoint, if it's in a beverage, they can determine if they want to continue to ingest more, or if they want to stop after 5 minutes and the half of a drink or half of a dose is all they want, or they continue to take more on. It's not up to their body and their metabolism, not that given day and time, to continually wait for the effects to climb over the next 2 to 3 hours and sit within their system for 4 to 6 or longer in some cases, as you've heard with many horror stories about the edibles or consumables markets.
Right. Okay, so I guess in the terms of the bioceutical market and foodstuffs and beverages, as you said earlier, there's no getting around the requirement for water-soluble cannabinoids, especially in the process that you're talking about, where it is actually, scientifically water-soluble, not just superficially so.
Yeah, I think with a lot of the products out there, if you look at their patents or even if you look at the different products and how they explain their water solubility, it's majority of the time it's water compatible. And I think that the term is misused within the industry quite a lot. I think if you look at it from a true biopharma standpoint, an oil will never be soluble within a beverage or within a food product. An oil can be compatible, it can be nano-encapsulated, or it can be emulsified and blended in with other chemicals to make it visually appealing to the eye in terms of solubility. But if your eye can't visually see it, that doesn't mean from a biopharma standpoint that it's actually water soluble. You need to have a new version of that cannabinoid that doesn't start out in an oil-based form or is transitioned to become a truly water-soluble product. And I think that's the difference when you see a lot of the products that are on the market versus what we're going to be coming to market with. Ours is the first one that actually fits the water-soluble definition, and it's not a water-compatible or miscible being amassed or being, emulsified or nano-encapsulated into a beverage.
Sure. So are the other companies out there that are claiming to have water-soluble cannabinoids, are they actually more or less packaging a water-compatible sort of solution that's not actually water soluble?
Yeah, not to go into the backgrounds of all the different companies out there, because there's some great products out there that are fitting different market segments out there. But, we did a freedom to operate patent search, and out of about 1,000 patents in the States that are currently registered and filed, a lot of them that are promoting on their website say water solubility, but in fact, if you look into their patent, which has to be 100% correct from a scientific standpoint, or it makes that patent admissible, those patents say water compatible on almost every single one of them. I think there was one that said solubility. We searched about 1,000 that actually said water compatible or water miscible. And I think our industry lacks the scientific regulatory backgrounds that a lot of the big pharma companies have to ensure that they adhere to. And so consumer marketing, consumer product demand drives a lot of the marketing initiatives and what is actually set on the market out there. So from a solubility standpoint, many of the products that are out there, like you mentioned, they are water compatible or they're water miscible. They're not actually a true water soluble product that from a biopharma standpoint, it has dissolved within the liquid. Just because your eyes can't see it doesn't mean that it's actually dissolved within the product. So.
Right. So at what point do you anticipate to realize revenue from the sale or licensing of your technology?
So we're gonna, I don't believe that we're gonna license out our technology. The proof is in the secret sauce and the process that we have a patent pending application in right now. So to license it out kind of gives away that secret sauce. We are going to keep it in-house and produce our own ingredients in-house initially now that we're going to then sell off to bigger CPGs or beverage companies or topical companies. We're working on bringing our clones in. We obviously need to go through our cultivation phase right now, but we're also in mid to late stage discussions with either other LPs or other consumer packaged goods companies to be able to work with them on joint venture partnerships to be able to produce and touch product as soon as possible. And if in fact we are able to get something put together, and stick strictly towards the consumables, the edible market, as we know, that's not part of the legal market here in Canada over the short time frame. So I think as we look forward to next year in 2019 of edibles or consumables being produced, I think that'll be our larger revenue driver at that point. I think in the short term, we've got to lock down 2 or 3 of these joint ventures so we can start working from a research standpoint on the formulations to be able to deliver to the market when it comes available in 2019, the best available, truly water-soluble beverage that can hit the marketplace and make a big punch.
Sure. All right, well, that's great, Keith. We're going to keep watching and look for those products. This is a technology that we don't see enough of at this point in the marketplace. So we'll leave it there. We'll come back to you in a very short period of time and see how things are developing. Thanks for joining me today.
Good. Thanks for having me, James.